It's showtime.
It's the pre-party with J. Cal.
We are professional wrestling.
I'm building an alliance.
You are tuned into
the absolute top of the mountain, the ultimate professional wrestling.
Alliance-wrestling.com.
How about now? Awesome. Let's start over, guys. Hey, this is the pre-party with J-Cal. And of course, this is we're using some new tech here today. If you can't tell, things look a little different. Sorry for talking your ear off with you guys not being able to hear me. And then the audio is too loud on the video. Well, that's awful. But I see everyone's in the house. Check this out. Look what else I could do. Look at this. Look. Terry McDermott said hello. Well, hello, Terry McDermott. How are you? Dodie is ready, and I'm ready too. Lamb is here, and Lamb says that the audio is too low of the video. Apologize for that. I can't control that. But yeah, we got Fee in the house. What's up, Fiona? How you doing? The camera is the same. Everything's the same, but we're using new software. It's called what is it called? It is called StreamYard, and it's a premium service, but it offers a couple of additional things that are kind of cool. And so, as we get here, as we rapidly approach the NWA Power live from the chase, not live, but recorded live. I just have some other things that I would like to talk about, some things I want to show off. First of all, I was going to talk about that this Saturday night in Atlanta or in markets with Peachtree TV, we have what's going to be Championship Wrestling from Atlanta. So we're going to have new content coming out of Atlanta. And it was literally just announced by Dave Marquez that the program will now be available on all of the Championship Wrestling from Hollywood outlets. Dave Scooby wants to remind y'all to like, share, follow, subscribe, all that cool stuff. So let me see if I can show you. This is a little bit from what I saw at Championship Wrestling from Atlanta. I hope you guys are going to check this out this weekend. We'll watch Championship Wrestling from Hollywood. That's Manny Lemons. That's down Andy Brown. Or this one. We're still learning, okay? This is still a growing process for me. So you'll have to cut me some slack. I think this is the one I meant to play. There you go. It's a sliced boogie. Here on StreamYards, so I'm just trying to check that out, see how it works. So yeah, so this is sorry, it's kind of a learning process. I don't even know if I've got a whole lot of you in here watching. Fiona said, "Oh, I don't have to read it. I can show it now." Yeah, La Rebellion was pretty badass. I definitely like the fact that they honored what they said on Power, that they're going to just hang out in Mexico until the NWA has some real competition for them. Now, the thing about La Rebellion, and we'll get into more of that later, but they previously were the Crash Tag Team Champions. They lost those titles to Trauma 1 and Trauma 2 at the last Crash event back in 2020. So they were the first one. They were the first ones to come back, and they brought the NWA Tag Team titles. We talked a little bit about this on a Sunday podcast. It was kind of random, but those NWA Championship belts, even if they're not defended in another country or another territory or another state or whatever, when that title is on the road and it's showcased, it is presenting to all those fans there that immediately the person holding that title is a champion, right? And the fact that those NWA belts were showcased in Mexico over the weekend, or in the past, when you look at when Blue Demon Jr. was world champion and he showed up in Japan to tag team with Ultimo Dragon, that was a pretty cool deal to see the 10 pounds of gold. Or when Colt Boom Boom Cabana was world's heavyweight champion and he would wear the title to Pro Wrestling Noah events. He never defended the belt, but having that title showcased in another country, I thought was pretty cool. And the fact of the matter is, seeing Mecha Wolf and BCS 666 with those tag team belts, I mean, I got chills. And, it was such a cool event that it was a lot of fun. So, yeah, as Lamb points out, he loves how La Rebellion is retweeting my tweets and video clips. It's kind of funny. So you guys who've been following this channel for a while know that we've been struggling to kind of grow this audience. And before I put any matches from the Crash on the site, we were at like 260 followers, 260 subscribers. We're now up to 340 and maybe even more since the last time I checked, because a lot of people would like to see more Lucha Libre. So your boy J Cal might be heading back to Tijuana sooner than later because it's good for business. And I see Heebs is in the house, so I'm going to say, what's up, Heebs? Thanks for checking us out. Other than the aesthetic, how do you guys like it here at the pre-party? You guys digging it? I think it looks cool. I think it looks cool. But what do I know? I do appreciate you guys giving us thumbs up. I see 5 of you've already given us thumbs up. So cool. I appreciate that. Let's get to some more NWA news and information, because this is your pre-party, and we're here to get you pumped up for the National Wrestling Alliance. And I think it's pretty cool that, we were really celebrating Chris Adonis last week, because he was scheduled to head to the UK to defend that NWA National Championship against Doug Williams. Now, this match was supposed to happen in Preston City Wrestling, again, in the United Kingdom. However, the match didn't happen. I don't know if you guys saw the reports. I don't know if you read results. I don't know what specifically happened, but when somebody asked Chris Adonis essentially said it was due to COVID. Now, the problem is he didn't say whether he had COVID or somebody that lives with him has COVID or whatever. So we don't know if he's in self-quarantine or if he's actually infected. And, I don't think we're going to find that out for certain. So if you're sick, Chris, if you're seeing this, we hope you get better, man. And hope you hope that this doesn't take you out for very, very long. Secondly, Chris Adonis is actually scheduled, along with the former world's heavyweight champion, the National Treasure Nick Aldis, to head to Poland, and they're going to be wrestling in Poland. So I mean, it's pretty cool to see our NWA wrestlers getting around. One of the things that I really felt made Nick Aldis unique when he first became world's heavyweight champion is the fact that he was still on the road for the majority of the time, defending the 10 pounds of gold all across the world. Now, obviously, he isn't world champion. This won't be any kind of world title match or anything really doing with the NWA, but hopefully that's a sign of things to come in the future, that maybe more and more NWA wrestlers will be able to start traveling the world again, representing the National Wrestling Alliance. And I for one, am for that. Sorry if I still haven't really got a hold of this thing yet, but see, and Lamb points out we have 368 subs. I mean, we've almost got 100 more subscriptions just based on the Lucha Libre. So I'll take that. And Lamb also wants to point out 2,000 plus on Twitter. Thank you, Chris Adonis, for pushing us over number 2,000. And then Rosville says the green screen. Yeah, you know what? The Alliance blog, the pre-party usually has the pre-party logo here. The old software we used, it was very easy just to slap a logo on it and boom, be done with it. This is a little bit more complicated, and honestly, today's my first day using it, so I'm trying to get the hang of it. But probably the next time you watch this podcast, you will see the old logo behind me. I think I could even do it now. Let's see. No, I can't. Anyways, and then I see Fiona said she was supposed to go to Preston City for that. Yeah, that would have. I can do this. See this? I got to get used to that. That would have been cool. It would have been cool for you to see history being made, because the NWA National Championship isn't a title that's been regularly defended outside of the U.S. and being defended in the U.K. I think that would be the first time it happened, so that'd be pretty cool. And then Heaps points out that, yes, he lost 10 pounds and that COVID sucks, so I guess that confirms it, although at the time of when I heard it, he hadn't confirmed for sure that he had it, so we'll see how it goes. My man Terry McDermott says that he wish he could go to Poland to see those matches. I've never been to Poland. I've never had a desire to go to Poland, but if I were to go, wrestling would be involved. Like I said, this past weekend, I got to go to the Crash. I mean, here's my ticket. I was also in China a few years ago, so I have been very fortunate, very blessed to travel a little bit to watch wrestling. My wife and I used to do road trips where we would drive to Las Vegas to see the championship wrestling from Hollywood. Back then it was just known as NWA Pro Wrestling at the Orleans Arena back in like 2007. And then we also checked out Yuma, Arizona at a minor league baseball field. We got to watch the NWA, basically NWA Championship Wrestling from Hollywood. It was literally, they shot those matches as part of a pilot, and I was there when Adam Pearce defended the 10 pounds of gold against Sean Waltman. It was a lot of fun. And then Lamb says that he wishes that Aldis would come to Germany, and he would even go to the show. Lamb, if you go to that show, I'm sending you a ham sandwich shirt, just if it ever happens. But yeah, so this is kind of cool, guys. I'm trying to get the feel of it. You will see the show change over the course of the next few weeks, months, as we try to get more ingrained with this technology. Thank you for bearing with us. And again, this is all just a part of the pre-party, right? So let's get back to more NWA news and information. As the aforementioned La Rebellion made their return to Mexico City. They had a championship welcome. Like, the crowd was so hot for these guys. And I don't know that it's because they're NWA World Tag Team Champions, or if it's just because it's La Rebellion and they're very much over in Tijuana, Mexico. But some of the things that I think that you should be paying attention to, and this is directed to the NWA family as a whole, that venue that I was at on Saturday night held about 3,000 people there. Now, we talk about how awesome it was to have the NWA have over 800 tickets sold at the Chase in St. Louis, Missouri, which the Chase is historically a wrestling venue that had live wrestling almost on a weekly basis for 24 years. Many wrestling promotions ran at the Chase. Well, maybe not many, but Sam Munchnick's NWA ran there, as well as at one point the WWF did television tapings there as well. The reason why I bring up the Auditorium de Tijuana is because that also is a very historic wrestling venue, of course, outside of the country in Mexico. But Mecha Wolf has said directly, tweeted at Billy Corgan so that the audience can see it. Hey, Billy, I would love to bring the NWA here. Now, I'm not saying that's going to happen, but I imagine if you put a card together with La Rebellion defending the NWA World Tag Team titles, and I'm just spitballing here, nobody hold me to this, but if you had maybe somebody like, our world's heavyweight champion, Trevor Murdoch, defend the 10 pounds of gold against somebody of cultural significance in Mexico, somebody like Andrade, who I did see wrestle live this past weekend, I'm pretty sure the box office would be huge for that. You wouldn't even need to have it's just like the shows that they're doing in St. Louis. You wouldn't even have to announce the card by putting that match on top and the tag match right there too. What if we have, Fabi Apache, Lady Apache challenging against Camille for the Women's World Championship? These are just things that I'm thinking out loud, that I'm saying out loud, that may or may not ever happen, but I think it would be pretty cool if it did. Heeb says that Lucha is becoming the next big thing, and it's kind of like Strong Style a few years back. The thing about Lucha Libre is it is very cyclical with the fan base here in America, where we'll go through and we'll have a lot of excitement about Lucha Libre, and then it'll dissipate. I was saying this on Sunday night that in 1996, when the WCW introduced the cruiserweight division, a lot of the cruiserweights came directly from Mexico, from AAA. So we're talking about guys like, Bestia 666 Father Damien. We're talking about Cico Play. We're talking about Juventud Guerrera, La Parca, of course, Rey Mysterio and Psicosis. One of my favorites, Super Calo. And all these guys were wrestling in AAA when they got the call up. So when they all were signed to WCW, there was a huge influx of Lucha Libre in America. It was in WCW. And then, of course, when that kind of faded away, a few years after that, we would get shows like Masked Warriors Lucha Libre that was available on, I think it was MTV. And they did a bunch of shows all across the country promoting Lucha events. And then Masked Warriors have had a bunch of events from time to time. And sorry about that, guys. So we've seen a lot of wrestling, a lot of Lucha Libre-based wrestling. In fact, we're even seeing it again now with some of the promotions that are coming up. A lot of Lucha Libre talent is being used. So, I hope it is a thing that happens. I hope we do see more and more Lucha Libre, because it's a fun style of wrestling. And he says, always keeping tabs on Ring of Honor's main event scene, because usually that's his top style a few years later. No joke, right? And, who are they using? A lot of Lucha Libre guys. So that brings us to tonight's wrestling. We do have a couple of matches here tonight. The quarterfinals continue with the tag titles. Excuse me one second. We've got the NWA World Tag Team Champions wrestling in Mexico, And while the NWA works on trying to figure out who is going to be their number one contender, we have a quarterfinal match with former champions Stevens and Kratos taking on the Rude Dudes. Now, this is an interesting kind of idea here because Kratos and Stevens didn't even get a rematch. And they had to jump into this tournament, and it just seems like, wow, that's kind of unfair. That doesn't seem right. They're not even getting an opportunity to face off for the titles that they just lost. And then typically that's not how it works. Typically, you're supposed to get that rematch. So, sorry, I'm just trying to work something out here. It's not going to happen. Okay. And so that's kind of unusual. And, but whatever, they're the Rude Dudes, the tag team of the Dude and Rudos. They had their first outing on the first episode where they took on Captain Yuma and Rush Freeman. They look like a pretty good tag team. I mean, they have a good look. They have they kind of have that. I know they're thrown together, but they kind of seem like they might be able to work out as a decent tag team. What are you guys? Are you excited about the Rude Dudes? Would you rather see them in the title picture over Kratos and Stevens? Leave a comment if you like. Heeb says he's in favor of the get to the back of the line. That surprises me, but it doesn't shock me. I've always felt like the world champion is always entitled to a rematch. That's historically how it's always been. But again, it's not always necessary. Wrestling with the MMA is in the house. What is up? You didn't miss too much. We were just talking about everything, the new look of the show and everything. Roswell says I think that they will be something. I don't have to read it. I can just put it on the screen. Roswell says that he thinks that they could be something as a tag team, and I believe he's talking about the Rude Dudes. And yeah, they did have a pretty good promo. I do agree with that. I think it was went pretty well. Other matches and action, we're supposed to have a number one contendership for the television title settled in a triple threat match. Now, this is a hangover from last season when the Pope was TV champion, that we had a series of triple threat matches to determine number one contenders. Now, I don't love that concept. I wish, however, they built up the TV titles. I would like just to see like one-on-one matches. The guy with the best win-loss record should be in line for a TV title match, or, something more akin to that. I just, triple threat matches are kind of like, to me. But Lamb beat me to the punchline. He hopes Jordan Clearwater wins. We've got Jeremiah Plunkett, Cyon, and Jordan Clearwater in this match to set up the number one contender. Lamb is rooting for Clearwater. Who are you rooting for? And then Lamb also points out that he wants Clearwater, but he thinks it'll be Cyon or Plunkett. I mean, I think the match that the NWA should make or want to make is Cyon. I think they're building to a feud between Cyon and Tyrus for the television championship. But I'm not sure if that's the direction they're going to go. Especially, I don't think they're going to give it to you for free. I think that's a match they're going to make you pay for. So if Cyon ends up winning tonight, which is a big if, I don't think you'll see that TV title match anytime soon. NWA Gold is in the house, and I want to say what's up to NWA Gold. He's my pal, of course. And then Terry McDermott says Billy needs a triple threat championship since he loves him so much. I mean, sure, why not? Look, the thing about the NWA is they're okay with different promotional titles being there. We saw the Knockouts Championship at Empower. We saw Tyrus bring his own six-man tag title. Just one, though. Just one. Sean Mega says, will championship wrestling from A, which I think he means Atlanta, be any different from other Marquez promotions? I always feel like I'm watching the same show. Sean, I wish you were here earlier. I think I could still play it again. Sorry, guys. I'm going to do it one more time because I don't want Sean to miss it. But here's kind of what it looks like in Atlanta. This is going to work for me. Yeah. Here we go. It looks a little bit I do think you're going to see something a little bit different when it comes to the Championship Wrestling from Atlanta. They are putting a lot of eggs in this basket, and the talent is very different. I mean, yes, you'll see some familiar faces. Heather Monroe will be there. You'll see, like I said, the Bodega are there. You're going to see guys who used to be a part of Hollywood, like Andy Brown or Manny Lemons. But then you're going to see people who've never appeared in the United Wrestling Network before. And there's a lot of talent, guys like Juicy Fanu, who is becoming a bigger part of the United Wrestling Network. But you're also seeing a lot of the talent from the Nightmare Academy as well. Nightmare Factory, excuse me. So I think it'll be pretty cool with the way that goes. Rosville says he's tired of three-way matches. And you know what? I am too, Rosville. I am. Bobby, welcome back, Bobby. He says he wants to see Jamie Senegal versus Kenzie Page. Yeah. Okay. I'm with you on that one. I think more women's wrestling, the better. Our pal Dave Scooby says he thinks the three-way is being used to build up friction between Clearwater and Cyon. And it's weird, too. I know Terry McDermott has suggested it, and I kind of agree with him, that just on paper, they look like they'd be a great tag team, Cyon and Clearwater. But they've also used Cyon's all of his mic time to say that he wants to be a world champion. And I think that means he wants to pursue whomever is holding the 10 pounds of gold. The quickest way to get there, obviously, is being national champion or to win the title, television title, and do the best of 7 series. So we'll see how that pans out. But I don't know, man. I'm not putting stock in anybody right now. I think it's all up for whatever. Lamb kind of hits it on the head. We love three-ways. We hate tag team wrestling. I mean, look, your tag team champions are in Mexico, for crying out loud. Not that I hate that at all, but Roswell says, or six-way. Yeah, that too. Sean Mega says, what's with the empty seats on Power? You know, one thing, and I'm not going to discredit the NWA for this, but they had to, you know, they only had such a limited amount of time. And for the pay-per-views, right, the pay-per-views that were happening both on the Saturday and the Sunday, because they did the TV tapings the following 2 days, they had opportunity to film content before the pay-per-views. And I think they took advantage of that. And I know it sucks to have that empty seats and the empty crowd, but remember that the way their taping cycle goes, this content from that they filmed in the late August has got to last them all through September, October, November, and then December. So we're talking about almost 3 months that this has to stretch out for. So I don't blame them for that. I don't even hate them for that. It wasn't as bad as I thought it would be. But I think maybe because of the pandemic, we're a little bit used to it now. So those empty arena matches aren't so like woefully like awful like they were when we'd first see them. Let's see. Wrestling with MMA. I'm glad you're here, man. I don't really know if this is working super great on either platform right now. I'm not on the YouTube stream or on the Twitch stream. I'm on the StreamYard stream, so hopefully it looks good. Terry again, Billy, Mr. Three-Way Corgan, William Three-Way Patrick Corgan. I think that's his full name now. Lamb says, I'm the mystery man and I want to become world champion. NWA, your name will be Cyon. That's right. We already said that. Bobby wants to see Camille versus Allison Kay. I would like to see that match too. I think Allison Kay, I really feel like got the short end of the stick, because when the NWA introduced Thunder Rosa, I don't think at the time that they knew what they had. I don't think they knew how over Thunder Rosa was going to be with that audience in Georgia. And Allison Kay, I always had thought Allison Kay was a great, phenomenal talent. She carried herself well as the Impact champion all those years ago. When she came to the NWA, I really got this vibe that she was going to be something big. But then you got Thunder Rosa, who's just literally bigger than anything else on the planet when it comes to pro wrestling. So she kind of stole that spotlight from Allison Kay. But now with Thunder Rosa gone, I feel like there'd be an opportunity for Allison Kay to kind of get back into that spotlight. But of course, she has to do that with the woman known as Camille. And that isn't an easy task. The brick house is a brick house for a reason. So we'll see how that all pans out. Let's see. Heave says, and the crew is sitting under the hard cam during the fanless matches. See, that didn't make a whole lot of sense. I would have put them in front of the camera to give the appearance that there were people there, but maybe they wanted it to look specifically empty so you knew why there weren't a sellout audience in there, because of course there's a huge dichotomy when it comes to the matches where the audiences were in the building and matches where the audience were not. But personally, I think I would have rather had seen even a smattering of the audience out in that out there. Then Lamb says the TV tapings went 10 hours a day. What do you expect? Some content was filmed without fans. Yeah, I mean, and you kind of have to do that. And it's not, I don't think there's anything wrong with it. I just think it's a byproduct of having such a short amount of time to capture so much content. Now, maybe as the NWA continues to grow, they'll have less of a need to stretch out the tapings so far. I mean, I was in Atlanta with Championship Wrestling from Atlanta. They shot 4 weeks of television in one night. Now, that's a whole lot less content in one night than the NWA group, but I think that's also gives the talent room to breathe. I think having, not just the wrestlers, but everybody on staff and fans and attendance and everything else for 10 hours is hard. That's rough. And, if you could do 10 hours, awesome. That'd be a long day for me. Terry, I don't know what the name Cyon means. Last week, we kind of made fun of the name a little bit, mentioning how it sounded like the old Toyota cars, but I think there's a little bit different. And then Heeb says, Camille and Allison Kay were being programmed for a match before the world smashed the pause button. Absolutely. They were building towards that match. And again, everything kind of hit the pause button, the pandemic pause, if you will. It did slow everything down. So, I mean, they could get back to it, but at this point, why? You can have Camille continue to crush the same women she's been crushing and allow Allison Kay and Marti Belle to help create credibility for those tag team titles. But until they actually get some women in there that are true tag teams, I don't know, maybe it's not going to be much of anything anyways, because the tag team champions that they could have, or the tag teams that they could have in the NWA, I mean, Lindsay Snow is getting healthy. She's going to come back, and there's a lot of rumors her and Lady Frost are going to team up, not just because of the cold factor, but because they're genuinely friends in real life, and they've been wanting to team together. Then you've got Heather Monroe and Ray Lynn, who are calling themselves Blonde Force Trauma, which I think is a brilliant name. They could be another totally good tag team to add to what the NWA is doing. And it's kind of funny, DK, because you brought that up, and I just brought up two oppositions who could challenge for those titles. I also think the Free Babes still are a very attractive stable, an attractive gimmick for the NWA with the legacy, the lineage to the original Freebirds with Miranda Gordy. You've got Haley J, who's kind of a wild card. Her mom is a former Ohio Valley Women's Champion. And then you've got Jazzy Yang Wang, who is the daughter of Jimmy Wang Yang. And I think that's kind of fun too. So it would, there's an opportunity to create a pretty decent tag team division just on those four tag teams that I brought up. Oh, Dave Scooby, you're beating me to the punch, and we'll get there in just a minute. Kevin Drummond says Camille versus Kiera Hogan. I mean, that would be a fun match, but I still see Camille going way over on that one. And then DK says, what about the one? Oh, we already did that one. And then Lamb says NWA loves thrown together a team, remember? Well, yeah, they threw together the Free Babes. So, I mean, that's fair. But I definitely would like to see them more, but I don't think they are. We know Miranda Gordy was at the SmackDown taping following the pay-per-view, so who knows? Dave Scooby says PCO is done with Ring of Honor in November, and he believes that he's someone who could possibly come to the NWA. I read that article as well, Dave Scooby, and it sounded like he's more interested in going to the WWE or All Elite Wrestling. But good Lord, could you imagine PCO wandering into the Power tapings in December and maybe picking a fight with our world's heavyweight champion, Trevor Murdoch? I mean, you could even book that for a pay-per-view. Who wouldn't buy that match? PCO is, well, you can't kill him, and Trevor Murdoch is one tough SOB. I think that would be a lot of fun, and I would love to see that match. Bobby brings up, I skipped that one. Dave Scooby says he met PCO on Sunday, and he's a really cool dude. That's good to hear, man. You never know about these guys, and I always hope for the best experience with people. When I met Nick Aldis, he was very charming, cool dude, really, really good guy. Cody Rhodes was a sweetheart. Very, very nice guy. Yeah, he'd be awesome. Rosville and Doty both are saying that the Free Babes, they'd like to see more of them. Bobby says that he would like to see the Sea Stars show up. Now, we saw, I forgot her name. Oh, God, what's her name? I'm sure you guys will get me. One of the Sea Stars used to be in the NWA for a brief time. So I wouldn't have a problem with them showing up. Rosville says no to PCO. Oh, okay. I mean, that's fair. He said that his run in MLW was a lot of fun. Oh, and to answer your question, Mr. Chris Dog. See, I keep going too slow. Camille is wrestling Kiera Hogan this Sunday in Texas at RCW. And I think River City Wrestling, I know Joe Galley does announcing for them, and I believe they air their matches on Title Match Network. So that would be a cool one to see. I think that would be a lot of fun. Sorry, guys. I'm just learning this software, trying to keep up with things. It's a little difficult. Doty says, I like Rudo and Stanley pair. Looks like the NWA made an interesting pair this time. Yeah, man. And like, look, they're not all. What Lamb said is not incorrect. The NWA loves throwing together tag teams. Drake and Storm was a great tag team, but they were thrown together. The wild cards were put together. That's Latimer and Royce Isaacs, because they won the wild card battle royal at the first Crockett Cup in 2019. I say first, but I mean the modern day first one. Certified Hustler seems like he's really excited about Biggie Biggs. Excuse me, not Biggie Biggs. Big E. Excuse me. Biggie Biggs is someone else entirely. Debbie Malenko will kick Camille's ass sooner or later. Don't worry. Doty, I think the dream is over with Debbie Malenko. I don't think we'll be seeing her back. I thought she was a lot of fun. I don't think we'll be seeing her back. Terry McDermott puts over Miranda Gordy. She's a very nice person. Yeah. DKM says there's a difference between throwing together a tag team and creating a tag team. That's a good point too, DKM, because if the company's willing to put money and time and invest in them, I mean, look, Kratos and Stevens were certainly a throw together, but they put energy into them and they kept them, so they created that tag team. I think that's the distinction where, they also put Marti Belle and Thunder Rosa together as a tag team, but that wasn't a very long-lasting deal, mostly because the star power that Thunder Rosa had, it didn't really need to. And Bobby helps me out with the name that I forgot, Ashley Vox. Ashley Vox did wrestle for the NWA. Her partner, though, Delmi Exo, did not wrestle for the NWA. So, again, this is all going to be cool, man. I mean, it's all going to play out over the next few weeks, next few months. Although I think all the matches that we're going to see soon have already been taped. They've all already been recorded. So I don't know that there's anything else you're going to see. Anything new you're going to see. And then Dave Scooby also reminds us that the Sea Stars wrestled for MLW the last time they were in Philly. He hopes to see them again next month. Yeah, man. I mean, look, that's the thing. There's a lot of good women talent out there. The NWA 100% showed that when they promoted Empower and were able to find so many good women wrestlers. Now, they could have kept going. I mean, they didn't even tap the surface. There's talents in Southern California that didn't even appear. They didn't even look at. And then there's female talents, all on the East Coast too. So there's a lot of talent that didn't even get acknowledged, which is a kind of a bummer, but it's all good. You know what I mean? Like, I'm just hoping that that women's division continues to grow. We were talking about after Empower, how cool it would be to see the NWA full on produce a women's TV show. And it really did feel like if they have access to Kiera Hogan, if they have access to Chelsea Green, as well as Camille and the Team Hex and some of the women, Kenzie Page, Lady Frost, Jennacide, it seems like there would be a lot of positive for the NWA and its women division. And Certified Hustler brings up Sky Blue. So, yeah, I mean, we all have our favorites, right? So getting back to the show, right, because that's what we're supposed to do here. We're supposed to talk about the matches. Then we're supposed to have, talking about the women's tag team titles, Marti Belle and Paola Blaze. Paola Blaze is managed by Taryn Terrell. She teams with Jennacide. We saw last week that Paola Blaze was somehow granted an opportunity to wrestle Marti Belle. And if Paola wins, her team gets a shot at the tag team titles. If she loses, then the following week, Jennacide wrestles Allison Kay for that same opportunity. It's kind of one of those like, hey, check this out. But it just at the same time was like, it's kind of a head scratcher. Why do they make that happen that way? But we'll see. Lamb says the NWA could have Santana Garrett on their show if they would tape weekly instead of 2 to 3 days for 3 months. Remember, Santana Garrett also just appeared at AEW's studio style show that they're taping in Orlando. I think that's Dark. So that would be fun. We'll see. Certified Hustler, I do appreciate the kind words that you're saying. I do appreciate you putting me over there to the NWA. They know who I am, and I think we're pretty good with the way things are now. I'm an uncensored, unedited, true voice that not just represents my opinions, but hopefully some of yours as well. We are not a kayfabe podcast. We are not scripted. We are not for the NWA. We are for the NWA fans. And there's a huge distinction there. I love the Bearded Trio. I consider each one of those gentlemen a friend. And this isn't an us versus them thing, but they represent the NWA. And I like to think we represent the NWA fans. So I'll just go with that. Let's see. More of your comments, if this thing will work. Heave says he thinks that Sky Blue is AEW bound. They flew her in for Dark studio tapings. Yeah, and I mean, that's going to happen. It seems like the AEW has this endless amount of money to sign everybody. But I guarantee you, they can't sign everybody. And I guarantee you there's some names that are currently working AEW who wish they were free agents as well. So we'll see how that all works out. And Bobby, was I saying it wrong? I thought I was saying Paola Blaze. Am I saying that incorrectly? If anyone want to correct me, please do. And then, of course, sorry, I'm just trying to keep up. Dave Scooby reminds us that yes, big boy battle tonight. An absolute humiliation match. I don't know what that even means. But I'm all about Dane and Crimson getting in there in the ring. And what's better than watching the War Kings beat the crap out of some jobber tag team? How about watching the War Kings explode and battling the crap out of each other? I'm a huge Jax Dane fan. As we mentioned last week on this podcast, the Alliance Guys podcast, we went into detail about how Jax Dane has had more character development in the last 2 episodes of Power than he did in the previous 4 seasons he's been associated with the brand. So I'm excited to see what Jax Dane is going to do next. He's coming out there with the snake leather vest, the snake leather boots. I mean, he's got all the drip. He's your former world's heavyweight champion, a former North American champion, a former national champion, former tag team champion. He can go on and on about the accolades that this man has and what he did for the NWA in the past. And I think if the NWA is smart, which I'm going to give Billy some credit here, I think putting Jax Dane into the conversation with Trevor Murdoch would be an awesome, awesome match. Would be a lot of fun. But I don't think we're there yet, and I don't think we're going to see that. But in the meantime, Crimson and Jax Dane should be a lot of fun. So we'll see how that works out. Certified Hustler says it's Paola, like the old Paola schemes. Okay. DKM says who should win, Mercer. That's Tommy Mercer is what they used to call Crimson. Sorry. So DKM says who should win, Jax Dane or Crimson, and I'm voting for Jax Dane. Missed opportunity not to advertise the match as the War Kings explodes. They should have. Could have been a whole pay-per-view series. I see Certified Hustlers backing Crimson. I see Fiona backing Crimson. I see Terry McDermott backing Jax. And then also, did I read that right? I think Lamb just announced that Jake Atlas just announced that he's stepping away from wrestling, and that's disappointing. I mean, I know it's problematic. The guy just got released from the WWE. We know he had that match with Ring of Honor. So it sucks. A lot of people lost their jobs with the WWE, and Atlas is one of them. It's a shame that he's stepping away from the business. Hopefully it's temporary. I know he was slated to be a part of the West Coast Championship Wrestling. I'm sure I'm getting that wrong. I know Lamb would know it. The promotion in Northern California associated with the United Wrestling Network. And Jake Atlas was supposed to make their next taping, so we'll see how that all pans out. But that's kind of a bummer. He was super over as an indie dude right before he signed. Yeah, I mean, he was getting dates in Pro Wrestling Guerrilla, which is considered one of the top independent wrestling promotions in the world. Up until NXT changeover, he was on. He was usually one of the talents that was there, and he was a big part of what the NXT brand was starting to do when they were booking the independent talents. And we'll see how that changes now, but that's a bummer. West Coast Pro Wrestling. Yeah, and mental health is important too. I mean, we saw Kylie Ray take a break from pro wrestling because of mental health issues, and I just wish Jake Atlas nothing but the best. Hope he does okay. So, yeah, and then also we're supposed to have Trevor Murdoch and an encounter between Trevor Murdoch and Nick Aldis. I'm kind of disappointed in the NWA. I was really hoping for a longer break from Aldis. And it's not because I dislike the guy, as some of you will point out, but I think it's just we were so oversaturated with Aldis for such a long time as world's champion. And it's obvious they're going to make him a babyface. At least that's what it seems like they're heading for. He's already apologizing to Kyle. He's talking about family. He's changing it up. But we didn't get to miss him. We didn't get to see him disappear. And now he's back on TV for the second time in a 2-week span and only missed one show since the pay-per-view. I think they're rushing it. I think it's too fast. And I think it'd be better suited for him not to make these appearances on TV. I think it would have been better for him to just kind of disappear for a while. Again, absence makes the heart grow fonder, and we forgive, we can forget. And if he disappeared for a while and showed up down the road, if I'm booking it and I want to book Nick Aldis as a baby face, he steps away from the NWA. We don't see him on TV for a while. And perhaps maybe now that Strictly Business is more Tom Latimer and Camille and Adonis, and perhaps maybe they add another vessel to that group now that they go after somebody like Tim Storm, somebody that Nick Aldis still respects quite a bit, and have Aldis come back to rescue his old pal Tim Storm. And then you set up a feud right there with Tim Storm and Nick Aldis against whoever Strictly Business is. That's how I would bring him back. Of course, I would bring him back as a heel and have him beat up Tim Storm afterwards, but that's just me. And Certified Hustler, no, it does look like they're going to bring Nick back as a babyface. I think that's almost a foregone conclusion. I'm not sure. I don't know. I'm not in the booking meetings, and I don't know what William Patrick Corgan has in mind, but yeah. Dave Scooby says he thinks that they're going to bring Camille and Nick to Boyle with, Camille and Tom in a feud with Nick and Mickey. So that would be interesting. Mickey and Nikki, that's what I would call them. Terry says keep Aldis overseas for a while. They can have him. Just kidding. I wouldn't have him on TV. That's my choice. I wouldn't use him on TV. Heap says dang, could be a product of the 3 months of content over 4 days. You just gonna keep Aldis in the back instead of fill that TV time. Yes, but there are options, and that's the thing. Like, the thing about Aldis is, he helps produce the show. He's an agent for the show. He's helping guys come up with finishes. They're plotting out storylines. He helps with the production of the show. He isn't just a wrestler. He's an integral part of the show, but he doesn't necessarily need to be on camera. And they could stretch out his appearances. Again, he could be gone for a month on TV, and we wouldn't know the difference, right? I mean, we would know, but because he wouldn't be there. But that's only him missing a couple hours worth of the TV taping. But nevertheless, Aldis is a great talent, and he'll be back sooner than later. And apparently he'll be back tonight to talk about what's happened and how things are going. And I don't know, maybe he'll come to some peace, some treaty with the world's heavyweight champion. But I think that's going to do it for us. This is a different vehicle. I hope you guys enjoyed today's episode. We did talk a little bit about the United Wrestling Network. We talked a little bit about, I had this ready to go and I messed it up. I forgot to do it. Where is it? So now I can't even find it. See, we're supposed to do this. We're talking about the NWA. Of course, you can find us on all social media at the Alliance Blog, and that is at Twitter, that is at Instagram, that is at Facebook, that is at Tumblr, that is at TikTok, that is at Twitch.tv, that's at YouTube. You can find us at the Alliance Blog. If you really enjoy the show, you can purchase one of these hats or one of the t-shirts available at our shop zone. The link is in the description. And we'll be back. We won't be back. I'm sorry. Thursday night, I won't be here. We won't have a live version of the Alliance Guys podcast this week because your boy J-Cal will be at the Primetime Live 1 year anniversary show. My camera looks like it just froze. I don't know if you guys are seeing me or not. What's going on here? Everything just froze. I don't know if you guys can see me or not. Everything just froze. You guys see me? Oh, jeez. I don't know what's going on. Okay, well, I don't know. You guys see me or not? Anyone want to say something? I see some more comments. Let's see some more of your comments. Let's see. Okay, you guys can see me. All right, yes. Good. It was frozen on my end, so good to see you guys. Real quick, I'll see more of your comments, and then we'll call it a day. I guess, yeah, Roswell says the United Wrestling Network needs a new world champion. 100%. They need to crown that champion, and it might happen at the Primetime Live. They're going to have a pay-per-view. They're going to go back to the pay-per-view format for the Primetime Live. It will be October 2nd, and it'll be interesting to see how that plays out. But I'm frozen again. I don't even know if you guys can see me or not. All right. Well, that's going to do it, guys. Again, thank you for checking us out. Thank you for being a part of the show. If I can figure out how to close this thing out, we're going to close with, of course, our old pal here. We'll see you at the matches. Have a good night. Let's go watch POWERRR.